The Custodes Allarus Terminators are what happens when you take a unit already more powerful than any Terminator in the Imperium and then put it into Terminator armor. Today on Titan Tactics, we are continuing Custodes Week with a deep dive on the Allarus Terminators. This isn't a unit you see on the tabletop very often, as the models are a little overcosted, but I'm going to show you how to take full advantage of their combat potential and unique stratagems. Stick around. The Allarus Terminators are obviously a combat powerhouse unit, but I want to show you how they can also be really solid at shooting and amazing at board control. Like all other Custodes units, they have a really great stat line, but the Allarus Terminators are a little better with 4 wounds and 4 attacks, along with several special abilities. One of the big standout things about the Allarus Terminators is their equipment. They can be equipped with either a Guardian Spear or a Castellan Axe for 2 more points. Now you should always take this Castellan Axe. It gives you a strength of 8, and that is really huge. You only lose out on 1 AP in combat, which rarely matters, given that the things you're fighting often have invulnerable saves. They also come with a grenade launcher, which is pretty solid. And like all Custodes, I would say you should avoid the Misericordias on them. It's worth noting that with an axe, these Terminators are 32 points more than a typical Custodian Guard, which I admit is likely a bit too many points. That said, you can maximize the special rules and stratagems of this unit, and you'll find that it makes it a pretty fair price to pay. Like any Terminators in the game, they can deep strike, which is very, very helpful on this unit. It means that you can threaten your entire opponent's army and get them where you need them. It also means you don't need to pay the command points to deep strike this unit, and you could save that to put other units in reserve. They also have a very interesting special rule called Slayer of Tyrants. It lets you pile in towards the nearest character, even if it's not the nearest model. They also have a stratagem that allows them to target characters in shooting, and this can really catch your opponent off guard. Let me show you how to make use of both these abilities. So our Allarus Terminators have just deep struck on the board 9 inches away from a big screen of 20 Poxwalkers. Now standing right behind it are 2 sorcerers. One is a Chaos Sorcerer with wings, and the other one is a Malefic Plague Caster. Now we really want to take out those 2 sorcerers because the smite and other mortal wounds they could put out are really going to hurt our army. But these Poxwalkers, they can't do a whole lot. So the first thing we're going to do is in the shooting phase, we're going to use a stratagem called INESCAPABLE Vengeance. This is going to allow us to target a character even if it's not the nearest. So we're going to pick the Chaos Sorcerer with wings as he's a little further away from the charge, and we're going to shoot everything at him. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the 6 Allarus Terminators and we're going to fire with the Castellan Axe. Now this is a rapid fire weapon and we are just within 12 inches, so the 6 of them are going to get 12 shots, hitting on 2s. Okay, we missed with 1, pretty typical. This gun has a strength of 4, and the sorcerer only has a toughness of 4, so we're going to be on force to wound. That's pretty good. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7. That's 7 wounds at -1. Now this is just a Chaos Sorcerer, so he goes from a 3-up save to a 4-up save. He failed 4 of them. These are 2 damage each. That's 8 damage. This Chaos Sorcerer goes down. So we've killed 1 character already. Now it's our charge phase. And we have a 9-inch charge to the Poxwalkers, but that character, although it's just within 12 inches, is actually more like a 13 or 14-inch move away because I have to go around these Poxwalkers here. So we can declare a charge, and I'll show you how the Slayer of Tyrants rule can get us into combat here. So let's roll the charge. So we rolled a 10. That's a really excellent charge distance. Let's move it up. Okay. So we have our Terminators made the move, and although they got pretty close to the character, they're actually not in range to fight it. Normally, they would have to pile in closer to the nearest enemy, which means if we were really careful, we might be able to get one Terminator in range to fight. But because of the Slayer of Tyrants rule, we're allowed to pile in towards the nearest enemy character, even if it's not the nearest model. So I can take 3 inches and come around with all of these Terminators, ignoring all of the intervening models that are closer. And that 3 inches now is going to allow me to get 4 out of my 6 models into contact. Now these 4 are going to easily clear out this character. Let me show you. If we want to make sure we really get this playcaster, we could up the AP of our axes by 1 by paying 1 command point for a stratagem called Castellan Strike. This takes any model equipped with a Castellan axe from -2 AP to -3. Now there's no invulnerable save on this playcaster, so that could really help here. I think we could kill him without it, but let's just use the stratagem anyways and see what happens. This malignant playcaster has 4 wounds, no invulnerable save, and toughness 5. It also has disgustingly resilient, but it's going to go down pretty easily to these 4 Terminators that are within range. The 4 of them have 16 attacks. So we have 16 here. This is going to be hitting on 2s. Okay, we haven't missed with any. Okay, we got 16 hits. Now we're going to be wounding on 3s. Okay, so we missed a few. Looks like we've missed with 6. So we had 10 wounds. Now because of -3 AP, this goes from a 3-up save to a 6-up save. Okay, he didn't make any, and this is D3 damage each. That's a lot of damage. These 4 Allarus Terminators just did 20 wounds to this playcaster. If we were fighting 5 of these things, we could likely have taken them down. Despite the fact that this character has disgustingly resilient, there's no way it's making 16 of those saves on only 20 dice. So it also dies. Now keep in mind, we still had 2 of these guys left to fight, and they're now going to be able to pile in and fight against the Poxwalkers. And because of their positioning, they may be able to wrap the unit and prevent themselves from being shot at the next turn. Or, if there was another character up the board and we wanted to move in that direction, we could even consolidate towards that character. Next up, I want to show you one of the most powerful stratagems in the Custodes arsenal, and it's called Tanglefoot Grenade. It can be used by any infantry unit in your enemy's movement phase or your charge phase. So for the purposes of this demonstration, the Allarus Terminators are the infantry unit. Now, what it's going to do is allow you to roll a d6 and subtract that from either your enemy's movement or charge distance. Now, let me show you the scenario here. If you remember last turn, we charged and killed all of the enemy's characters in this area. We also piled in, attacked a few of these Poxwalkers, and I just guessed that we'd kill around 7 of them. So we have a unit of 13 Poxwalkers in the enemy's turn here, and we're going to clear them out almost guaranteed in this enemy's turn, and we'll be free to act in our next turn. Now that's the situation we want. We also have some Death Guard Terminators coming up the board. We have a unit that just deep struck in of Blightlord Terminators here, and we have a unit of Death Shroud Terminators that want to move up the board closer to us. So let me show you how we can use the Tanglefoot stratagem to prevent both of these charges, keep ourselves unencumbered and unhurt, so in our next turn we choose what happens, we choose our opponent, and we can act to our maximum efficiency. Okay, so at the start of the movement phase, we're going to select these Death Shroud Terminators, and we're going to use the Tanglefoot Grenade. This is 1 CP, and we are going to reduce their movement by 6 inches. Now this unit only has a movement of 4, so now it has a movement of 0, -2. I don't even know what that would mean. Now, this unit is just 12 inches away. They can't move. That means they need a 12-inch charge to get into contact with me. Now at the end of the movement phase, these Blightlord Terminators have deep struck in. They're 9 inches away. Now they can't shoot at me because I'm in combat with the Poxwalkers, so let's move right on in to the charge phase. Now at the start of the charge phase, we can play Tanglefoot Grenade again and target this unit. Now we're going to reduce their charge by 5 inches. So instead of needing a 9-inch charge, they need a 14-inch charge. That's something that they can't even do on 2 dice. Let's see what their charge range would have been. They got a 12. That's remarkable. It still isn't enough. They failed the charge, and they're unable to charge me here. Now these Death Shroud actually need a 12. They only roll a 6. That would have been enough if they were able to move. So we've just prevented both of these charges. In the combat phase, we clear out all of these Poxwalkers, and next turn we're free to move away, shoot and charge whoever we'd like. You can really see the tricks the Custodes are able to play to control the board, even when they have so few units. I said the Allarus Terminators were masters of control, and I'll show you an example of just how with another stratagem they have called concussion grenades. Now for 1 CP, you could pick a unit of Allarus Terminators. Their grenade launcher loses its AP, but for every unit that gets hit, they cannot fire Overwatch, and they get -1 to hit as well. So in this case here, we have 2 units of 3 Allarus Terminators facing down 30 Plague Marines. Now these Plague Marines have a ton of special weapons. They have their upgraded flamers, they have plasma weapons, they have power fists. They actually present a real threat. And the life of every single Allarus Terminator really matters. We can't afford to lose any because we start the game with so few. Let me show you how we can use this stratagem, charge in, and take advantage of this situation. Okay, at the start of the shooting phase, we're going to have the first unit pay the 1 CP to use concussion grenades. Each custodian is going to target a different of the 3 units, and then they're going to put all of their Castellan axe shots into the first unit here on the side. So let's see what happens there. They each get D3 shots. So that's 2 for 2 of them and 3 for 1. So 2 shots at this unit, we hit. 2 shots at the other unit, we hit. And 3 shots at the last unit, we hit. So all 3 of these units can no longer fire Overwatch and are going to be suffering a -1 to hit penalty. But they still take the damage from the concussion grenades. So the 3 hits here, wound on 5s. We didn't get any wounds there. The next one, wounds on 5s as well. We got 1 there, and the last unit, wounds on 5s not. So this unit in the middle has taken 1 wound, and it's no AP. Oh, they did manage to fail it. Disgustingly resilient. Okay, so we took out 1 Plague Marine from the middle here. Okay, so we're 1 Plague Marine down, and all 3 of these units cannot fire Overwatch. Now we can do the axes into that same unit. Okay, here hitting on 2s. Okay, so we got all of our hits. Now we're winning on 5s. That was pretty good. So 3 wounds. These are -1 AP, so 4-up save. They passed 1, failed 2. And these are 2 damage each, so they really mess up the Disgustingly Resilient. So the first one fails, and the second one fails as well. So there's 2 more Marines down. So we've got 3 Marines down from that first unit. Now, the second unit here can put all of their shots into that same unit. Let's see if we can try to clear it out. 6 shots from the Castellan axe, hitting on 2s. Okay, they all hit, wounding on 5s. Okay, 3 wounds. These are 4-up saves. They failed all 3. Okay, Disgustingly Resilient. First one fails. Second one fails. Third one's a fail. That's another 3 going down, and they're going to start losing special weapons at this point. Now, we have our grenade launchers still for this unit, and these are D3 shots each. That's 8 shots. Hitting on 2s. Okay, we missed with 1. Perfectly reasonable. Now we're wounding on 5s. Okay, 3 wounds. Pretty average. -3 AP, this is 6-up saves. No save. 5-up Disgustingly Resilient. 1 of those passed, 2 more go down. Okay. So that squad only has 2 left. It's lost 8 to shooting, and now it's my charge phase. So both of these units are going to get to charge in. Let's roll them up. This unit here got a 7-inch charge. It's enough to bring it up and around onto here. And this next unit here, 7-inch charge as well. That gets it into both units. Let's go into the combat phase and see how much damage these Custodes could do. Okay, it's the fight phase, and we have our first unit of 3 Allarus Terminators here, and we're up against a unit of 10 Plague Marines. We'd really like to clear this squad out, so we'll pay the 1 CP for Castellan Strike, giving me the additional AP. Let's do the 12 attacks. These are hitting on 2s. Okay, we missed with 1. Now we're Strength 8 versus Toughness 5, so this is going to be wounding on 3s. Okay, we missed 2 more there. It's 9 wounds, minus 3 AP is 6 up saves. Okay, they passed 1. That's 8 that go through, and it's D3 damage apiece. Okay, it's pretty good. So we have 1 that's 1, 4 at 2 damage, and 3 of them at 3 damage. So let's roll up the Disgusting Resilient. The 1 here at 1 fails. These 4 at 2. That one fails. That one fails. That one as well. Okay, so that's 5 dead already. And then we have these 3 at 3. That one fails as well. That one's close, but still fails. Ooh, that last one just succeeds. Pretty impressive on that last one. But that was 8 that went down. Okay, I fought with the second unit, and it was able to kill 6 from the other squad. It didn't have the additional minus 1 AP from Castellan Strike. So I have 2 units that lost 8 and 1 unit that lost 6. Morale is going to be really tough for these units. They only have an 8 up leadership, and 2 of them lost 8. So let's roll leadership for the first one here. It gets a 2. That's exactly enough to kill it. The next unit rolls a 5. It goes down as well. And the third unit rolls a 5. That means it loses 3 more. That's only 1 left. So those 30 Plague Marines were just reduced to a single Plague Marine who's still in combat with me. It's going to fight back. It's not going to scratch any of these Terminators. And next turn, I'm going to kill it and be free to operate as normal. You could see how deadly these are when you use their stratagems in combination with what they do best, which is fighting. The last trick I want to show you for the Allarus Terminators is called Unleash the Lions. It's a powerful stratagem that allows you to take your entire unit and split it into individual models. So I have 6 Allarus Terminators here, and when I play this stratagem, they become 6 individual units. Now you can see here they have a series of enemies around them, and I want to tag and fight all of these enemies. I also have 2 objectives I'd like to hold. Now I only have this 1 unit, and this is a pretty common scenario for Custodes. They just don't have enough units on the board to be everywhere they need to be. But in this scenario, I can use Unleash the Lions and split it and show you what I would do. Okay, I've finished moving, and as you can see, each one of my Terminators has moved off towards a separate unit. So they have 6 enemies, and the 6 of them have moved off. Additionally, this one here is now within 3-inch range of this objective, and he's holding it. Now, in the shooting phase, they can each pick their targets. Let's say they each shoot in to the unit in front of them, and there's a decent chance that they can each kill 1 model. So let's say that's what happens here. Now, we have 4 models in each unit, and now they get to charge in. Now, they're all only a couple inches away, so none of them can fail the charge. So they all charge in and succeed. Okay, they all made their charge, and I'm just going to do the fighting with one of them, and then we can say that's around what would happen to the rest. So we've got 4 attacks. We'll take this one here, and he hits on 2s. Okay, they all hit. Strength 8, so he wounds on 3s. Okay, 3 wounds. That's about what I would expect. Minus 2 AP, so we've got a 5 up save. Okay, they fail all 3. This is D3 damage each. Okay, 2 at 3 and 1 at 1. So let's see, the 1 at 1 fails, and the 2 at 3, that one fails, and that one fails. So we've killed 3 of them. Now, if we did that across all these units, we would have only 1 model left in each unit, and they would have all lost 4, and they'd all have a leadership of 8. So let's say I rolled a 5 here. That unit now fails morale. Now, most of them would pass, but maybe another one would actually fail morale as well. This means that we've nearly cleared out all of these units with our 1 unit of Terminators because they were able to spread out and take on all 6 of these separate targets. In future turns, it also means they can move off and hit different objectives. It makes the unit easier to hide, and it makes it much less susceptible to shooting, especially very large, powerful guns like a Tau Riptide that wants to put 18 shots. Well, now it has to put all of them at only 1 of your Terminators rather than hitting the entire unit of 6. The Custodes army focuses on mastery of the combat phase and unique stratagems. And the Allarus Terminators embody those 2 values better than any other unit in the Codex. Most players avoid this unit as it's a little overcosted, but in the hands of the right general, this unit can dominate the board. And a well-placed concussion or tanglefoot grenade can really turn the tide of a game. Check out the next episode of Titan Tactics, where I'm going to cover the Vexilla Praetors with their ability to level up your entire Custodes army. Thanks for watching.